Kyren. I present to you Kyren Williams, Saturn man number Doch. And we're here to talk about why he's deserving of the Saturn man label and why we're sending him to Saturn on a shuttle as we speak. I give you Saturn man number 2, Kyren mother freaking Williams. Whoa. Whoa. We hit planet Uranus on accident. Kyren, I apologize. Kyren to the moon, mashed potato that man.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Spaceman. Spaceman. Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. I think we still got Breece Hall's numbers down below. Let me close that out. But we are here to discuss the man in front of your face. His name is Kyren mother freaking Williams. And he absolutely deserves to be on this Saturn man list. And I know that a lot of people might not understand the Saturn, the moon, the Mars man list. We'll go over it real briefly. I'll tell you right now. Essentially, Saturn's the top of the top. Far away. That is the place where we send our marvelous monsters like Kyren, like Breece Hall.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Spaceman.
So those are the top of the top. And why are they the top of the top? Why do we have two big name players, two guys, Breece Hall, Kyren Williams, who are in our top 5 overall, in our top 3 or 4 running back rankings on a list? How does that help you? Well, not every player that's ranking in the top 5 deserves to be your top 5 pick. And the Saturn men, some of them, 2, 3 of them might equate to high value, high draft capital players. Doesn't mean they're not deserving of the pick. Doesn't mean they can't win you a league. Doesn't mean that if you take Kyren at 3 or 4, and believe it or not, he's a little more doubted than you would think. There are a lot of circles out there trying to be first on the Kyren Williams is going to bust in 2024 take. A lot of people are coming at that. So I think Kyren, if anything, Breece probably won't have that label or that kind of negative vibe out there, like a hate club. But Kyren 100% has that Achan hate club vibe. There's people that just want to be first to it. They want to be first to it. They want to predict somebody's downfall. They don't like the fact they didn't see him coming. They don't have the adjust and adapt mentality that we have here on the channel. And let me tell you something. If you think that adjusting and adapting isn't needed to win your fantasy football championship, I've got news for you. You're prepared to lose. At the end of the day, you might draft well, but guess what? Someone more astute at adding and dropping, trading, and knowing when to navigate left instead of continuing to go down the other direction. Okay, we could have packed it in and said, oh, Bijan didn't work out. But instead, you made trades for Breece Hall. You made trades for Jahmyr Gibbs. You picked up Achan. You started Achan. You did things that helped you dominate. That's fantasy football, and there's part draft, part management, part taking in information. Yeah, you know what? Fantasy football intelligence isn't just knowing what you know. It's knowing how to absorb and react, sift through the different pieces, and hold on to something. I've got a lot of, hey, Smitty, you helped me win my league. And I can't tell you how much that makes me feel amazing. But you guys are the ones that know what to take in and what to not take in. And that's part of being a smart fantasy football owner. Okay? And let me just say this about Kyren. So, Kyren Williams, who came in as running back number 5 on the year. Kyren Williams, who is going to be on a lot of people's hate list this year, regardless of how many people will be in the absolute camp of he's going to be number 2 or 3, he's going to be 1, he's my guy, I love Kyren Williams. There will be people, and there'll be a lot of them on this channel in the comments. Go take a look. Read the room, Bob. Read the room. Oh, but Smitty, what if he doesn't what? What if he doesn't what? What if he doesn't do it again, Smitty? Who cares about that stupid negative take? Use your eyeballs, Bob. I don't care about what ifs. Everybody has a what if. The question you got to ask yourself, is there anything that makes you scared about this situation? There was one. McVay. What if he retired? What if McVay walked away? But then we got news today that helps make us sleep like babies tonight, and that is that McVay is coming back for 2024. That's in the books. What does that mean? That means this offense will be vibing for yet at least another year. McVay feeds his boys. McVay overfeeds his boys. And I don't care what defense you walk into. I don't care if you're looking at the top 2 or 3 or number 1 rushing defense in the National Football League. It doesn't matter. You can't contain this man. You can't game script against this man. Why? Partly because he's an absolute monster. And Saturn, man, that appropriate button works for him like a charm. Part of it is because he's a monster. The other part of it is this man right here, Sean McVay. Much volume, and it doesn't matter if this man faces the number 100-yard receiver anytime you need him to be. And on top of that, it doesn't matter. He's a monster. He'll run for 100 yards on the best defense in the National Football League. He'll drop a 3 TD hat trick on you like he did in Week 17 and win you a championship. So when someone says, Smitty, how are we sending 2 top 5 players in our mind to Saturn? How does that help me in fantasy football? Not everything is going to be deep sleeper. And you will actually have a dilemma when you're on the clock in 2024 at 2, 3, 4, 5. Think about it. Sometimes that's your biggest dilemma. Who do I pick? I got the number 3 pick. Who do I pick? I don't know if I trust this guy. I don't know if I should go wide receiver. I don't know if I should go running back. That still wins you a league. There is still opportunity to win your league, put yourself in amazing position with the first round pick. The first round players still need to be evaluated. The first round players still hold win a league value. I don't want to hear his upside's capped. You can't win a league on a player you're drafting 4 overall. That's just not true. Kyren Williams is a league winner. He just proved it. He just proved it. What more do you want? He just proved it. He's a league winner. If you had him in your Week 17 matchup, I almost guarantee you, I can't fully guarantee it, but almost guarantee you won your championship.
You've just been Smitty approved.
He's Kyren, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns. To Saturn.
It's simple. It's quite simple, ladies and gentlemen. You need some home run hitters in round 1. And Kyren out of Breece Hall, and Kyren most definitely has the most capability to have a handful of haters sitting there wanting to watch him fall. Why? The psychology of fantasy football. Look at me. Bring it in. Bring it in. We did this with Achan. Do we have to do it again? Let's do it again. Let's run it back. The psychology of fantasy football. It is a very hard pill to swallow. Missing on a player. I know because in week 1, when Puka Nacua went nuts, I'm admitting my wrongs here. I'm on the couch. I've got my feet up. I'm telling you, my psychological trauma. Okay, we're not all perfect. I admit my L's, and I have an L that I adjusted and adapted on. And not to mention, let me first start off with that I loved Puka Nacua, and in best ball, we tore it up with Puka. Go watch any of the previous live streams. He's one of our favorite football owner. You know who doesn't get better? Bob. You know who doesn't get better? Party doesn't mean you can't partake. And if you think that rooting a good owner at the end of the day, you might be a good drafter in a nutshell, but at the end of the day, you're going to be an absolute travesty for your own single fantasy football outcome every single year because you can't adjust and adapt. You can't recognize real. Real's got to recognize real. You have to be able to say, this man looks great. I was wrong. And Puka Nacua and Kyren Williams are here to mother freaking stay. So that's all I've got to say about that at the current moment. Let's hit the Saturn man list one more time.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Spaceman. Space.
Do it live. Do it live. Appreciate everybody in the building. Somebody said that the stream was freezing on them. Is anybody else getting freezing? Connection is choppy. Don't be a frozen Frankie. How long was that for? How long was it choppy? Just for like a minute, 30 seconds. I switched my internet connection. We should be good and on a different connection now. How long was it out? I won my league. Nice job, Zach. Appreciate you, Brees. Prepared for takeoff. How long was it choppy? How long was that thing choppy, damn it? All right, let's hit these super chats. Tell me how long it was choppy. Call your boy Loud, Smitty the man. Only show you'll ever need. Thank you, Call your boy Loud. First super chat of the day. Gets a standing O. That's my boy. And Spacula in the building. We haven't seen Spacula for a while. At least I haven't seen a super come in, so I haven't really seen you been in here. Spacula, appreciate you being here. This offseason with Smitty is the best. Thank you, appreciate you. The offseason with Smitty is the best. Thank you, Spacula, for dropping that super chat. And somebody said 30 seconds. 30 seconds, okay. I don't know what was going on. The mic was off. Huh. Weird. Bro, 30 seconds, that's it. Impatient Isaacs. Okay. We got it fixed. Okay. Let's hit the phone lines.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Top super chatter of the year so far is Perps with the $2.99 hauler. And Ray G was right on his heels with a $2.50. I can't thank you guys enough. You're absolutely monsters. Let's hit the phone lines. Let's do 30-second phone calls. We'll open up the phone line to a little bit deeper conversation with the panel a little bit later, but let's keep these calls quick. These are 30 seconds. I want to kind of talk Kyren Williams if possible. I think that's going to be the best topic of the moment. At least Puka Nacua, Kyren, the Rams situation. You can ask about one of your teams or something, I guess, but let's try and, if we can, keep some of the conversation on the Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams, Cooper Kupp, Stafford, and McVay conversation. If you can, at least open up with a question like that, then bring in your selfish request. I'm all for that. Dial in to the show. I guess I would also say this real quickly on the topic of Kyren. It's like, I understand there are other options out there like Breece Hall, like Gibbs, and in no way, shape, or form am I saying that these guys don't also deserve top 1 to 5 consideration. For example, is there a world where I have Breece Hall as my number 1 overall running back in 2024 fantasy football? The answer to that is yeah, there's a world where that exists. One could really argue that Gibbs, CMC, depending on his health on the way out the door, you could literally say all these guys are tied, and Kyren, throw him in there. Kyren is absolutely in this mix. No one is crazy. Nobody is crazy to like Kyren, CMC, Gibbs, or Hall as their potential number 1 overall in 2024 fantasy football. 773 caller, what is your name and where are you calling from, young man?
Hey, this is Gio from Chicago.
Gio from Chicago. Gio, what can I help you with?
Hey, so every year in our league, we play whoever finishes first gets the first overall pick next year.
I like that. I like that aggressive style, bro. Like hold the people accountable for having a bad season. The only problem with that is you have people jumping out of that league really quickly. But I like
exactly.
it. I like the aggressive.
Yeah, so we do it to prevent tanking and to keep everyone active all season long.
How many people do you lose a year though? Do you take like a
we had as soon as this year ended, everyone's like, yeah, we're coming back.
Yeah. Okay. Hit me with your question. I like the aggressiveness, bro. I love it. You win it, you get the 1 overall pick. That's how, honestly, it feels how it should be. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I finished second this year. I lost in the championship.
Okay,
But,
so
my question is, I'm going to get the second overall pick.
Okay.
Should I just go for Kyren? Should I keep that second overall pick and then go for Kyren?
And this is a redraft league?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that makes a little more sense. I thought it was the rookie pick, the rookie one. But I like that. You win the league, you get the first pick. I like that. I think that's awesome. And there's nothing wrong with getting 12. It's not going to make you quit the league. I thought that was the rookie pick. I'm like, people are not going to rebuild well if they lose. And there's no incentive for them to stay. But I still liked it. It still sounded awesome. But,
it's redraft.
bro, like I just got through saying right when you jumped on the phone, you can make a case for CMC in redraft 2024 at 1. You can make a case for Gibbs. You can make a case for Hall. You can make a case for Kyren. They're all 1.1 worthy. You could even make a case for JJ. You can even make a case for Tyreek Hill in redraft. Every single player on this list, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 players easily could be argued at the 1 overall pick. It just depends on how you feel about these players. To be honest with you, in redraft, I have no problem going Kyren number 2 overall. And as I said on my show yesterday, I think you're going to see me, and I didn't think I initially was going to feel this way about a month ago when I did a little quick assessment on what I believe to be my favorite strategy probably going into 2024 based on my best player available mentality, that's going to drive where I'm going to go. Obviously, best player available. But what's best player available look like in general to me? It felt like it could have been a really wide receiver heavy season for me in terms of offseason content. But guess what, bro? And I did say it'd probably be hero. It does feel like hero to me. Hero ball, meaning you take a running back, preferably in round 1, but you could do it in round 2. And the hero ball, what I coin as hero ball light, is where you go no RBs early except for 1, but you do it in the 3rd round, which is a little bit harder, but it can be done. But hero ball, going RB in round 1 and then not going RB till later, then stockpiling on last year's version of Kamara was hero RB. Your running back 2 and hero RB last year, where you ignore your running back 2 until round 6, 7, 8, was Alvin Kamara. So that's the approach I'd take this year. I think in general, as much as I do love, JJ, Tyreek Hill, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all those boys, this right here, I still feel like right now, my 1, 2, 3, 4 is CMC in no particular order. We'll just go Hall, Gibbs, CMC, Kyren in no particular order yet. I could order them, but these are my 1, 2, 3, 4 in no particular order, potentially walking into this season. It's like I've almost flipped on what my line of thinking was a month or two ago. Kyren and Gibbs, all these guys have been finishing super strong, right? Hall's finished strong. Gibbs finished strong, except for the last week. I know that crapped the bed for some people, but he carried people to the championship game. Kyren was finishing strong and finished strong. And so their values took a big uptick. But the thing about redraft, now Dynasty is a little different, but the thing about redraft is that, look, elite runners, everybody says that the NFL is going the way of no workhorse running back. And I'm always here every offseason to tell you that's hogwash. It's garbage. It's stupid talk. There's a lot of people that push that out there. Everything's a cycle. everything. I've been doing this over 2 decades professionally. I've seen it all. I've seen the running back disappear. He's gone. The running back's gone. I've seen it every 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Everybody claims the running back's gone. Now, things are changing. Running backs are becoming PPR monsters, but the position's evolving into a utility player that becomes so vital in the passing game. The teams tend to lead on that 1 RB again because there are only so many players that can play like Kyren. There are only so many players that can play like Gibbs, that can play like Hall. And so when someone says the running backs vanished, there's no longer a 1 running back league anymore, tell me what you see right in front of your face. I see 4 of my top 4 overall players staring at me right in the face that are all RBs and they're all workhorses. So, bro, you take Kyren at number 2 and do your thing. Don't listen to a single hater. I will tell you that he probably is the most hated player on this list, I imagine, walking into 2024. So could you get him 4, 5, 6? I don't know. I've seen people say I won't take him in the first round in comments of YouTube videos of mine, in comments on Instagram, DMs on Instagram. I won't take, like, people just reply to me and think I care about their negative comment. Like, I wouldn't take Kyren in the top 12. You're crazy. And it's like, man, I love hearing this feedback because I get so many comments and so many, and especially on the text line, which I've brought the text line to a close just so I can focus on more content. That has been retired. And I don't mean this phone line here on the channel, the live call-in. That's here. I'm saying the text line on thefantasyfootballshow.com. I had a text service where you could text me and I'd text you back. I get so much feedback from these types of like avenues of communication that I can tell you firsthand. I know exactly what people are thinking in terms of Kyren, and it's a freaking divide. It's heavy favorable, but there is like a 20% of the population that is so bitter about not owning him, so bitter about watching him succeed without them even knowing he existed, that they're just hell-bent against him. I'm rooting for his demise. Same concept with the Achane haters. They can't live with themselves not being a person that saw Achane coming, so let's just root against him until he falls. That way we feel good about our initial assessment. If he falls, then maybe I wasn't that wrong. If Achane fails, then I probably was right at the beginning then, right? That means I didn't miss this. I'm not so bad. It makes me feel like a bad fantasy owner because I didn't see Achane coming. It makes me feel like a bad fantasy owner because Kyren's blowing up on Steven's team over here, and I'm Bob from accounting. Kyren is a monster, bro. Kyren is a monster. Don't be afraid to draft him. Don't be afraid to make him your number 1 overall pick if that's how you feel. You know what I'm saying, Gio?
I get that, Smitty. I get it.
I don't know if anybody's sitting next to you going, this guy's berating you. Why are you still on the phone with him? I'm not yelling at you, Gio. I'm just, you know that.
No, I get that. I know you definitely made a good argument, and you just further convinced me to go ahead and go Kyren number 2.
If he's your 2, go 2. Take him 2. You could also trade down to like 4, and then at the worst case scenario, you get another monster, and you move up something in conjunction with that. But I just love that people. I just love that people will. They're not even wanting to draft him in round 2. And I get what Nate W saying here. Nate, I'm not yelling at you on this either. Please don't take it this way. But Kyren should be round 1, but I bet he goes round 2 by the end. I don't think so. I don't think people are. I think the one thing you got to know about, trending like that, Nate, negative trending, is all it takes is 1, right? There's gonna be 5 or 6 people at least in a draft that love this man, and there's gonna be 5 or 6 people that hate him, maybe 1 to 2 that are indifferent. There's no way 11 people let him fall to you in the second round. That probably is not going to happen. Now, it kind of depends on how he finishes, on the way out the door here, I suppose, but I would venture to say that the negative people won't grab a hold of the ADP too much. They'll just help assist, in his ADP naturally falling 2, 3, 4 spots lower than it should be. Instead of going 2, 3, he could go 5, 6, 7, 8. But you never know, Nate. Nate, you could be right. I'm just saying my initial guess is that 11 other people aren't going to allow that to happen. You know what I mean? Just like Gibbs could only fall so far. There are so many Gibbs haters. Just like Achane will only fall so far. You do a playoff draft where Achan's involved, you'll see haters ignore him, but then someone's going to come in right before and scoop him up, and you're like, damn it, I thought I was going to get Achan as a steal. All right, hey, Gio, anything else before I move on to Jack of all trades?
No, that's about it. Just thank you for all the content you make and helping us out in 2023, and I'm looking forward to 2024 with you guys.
Yeah, buddy, appreciate you.
All right, have a good one.
All right, call in anytime. Call in anytime. Jack of all trades, you're live. Marsman extraordinaire, Marsman winner, Marsman king of the North. There's only one king right now, and that is Marsman Jack of all trades, who won the points title and the championship. And you can win. First place is the championship, the Super Bowl. But in order to be truly king of the North and to ever hold that title, you have to win both, and he did it in the first year. So congrats to Jack of all trades. Jack, what can we do for you, pal?
Word to the cousin.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up? What can I do for you?
Triple super stack 2024. Matthew, Kyren, and Puka.
Yeah.
League champs.
It could work, bro. Depends where the ADPs go, but it absolutely could be kind of a fun little trio. And especially in best ball
I don't
drafts.
care where they go as long as they're on the team.
Yeah, and best ball drafts too. That'll be great. And I got news here as well. We got the Garrett Wilson autograph jersey. Let me see if I can grab that jersey. We never ever got a prize or settled on a prize for the other Superflex one. I know I said I was going to maybe come up with something, and so I did. Here's the Garrett Wilson autograph. He has a little autograph, by the way. Him and Jamar Chase are the smallest autographs. Garrett Wilson jersey. This Garrett Wilson jersey, autograph jersey. I have an announcement to make. The winner of the Garrett Wilson autograph jersey goes to none other than a man who finished first and second in the Garrett Wilson, because you can do as many drafts as you want. He finished number 1 and number 2. You only get one. There's only one prize, the Garrett Wilson jersey, but he got first and second. He locked down the competition in this boosted M4. You are the winner of the Garrett Wilson autograph jersey. Congratulations, young man. And again, he finished with the 2 highest scores, and you could do as many. He even got this one down at, what was it? Like 7, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around that territory. Fantastic job. He drafted a lot of teams for sure, but it's okay. You're allowed to do that. There's a couple of mine right there. There's, I think, where was Rockout was somewhere in here, or Loha's right there. I think Rockout got pretty high on the, him and Travis did well on the other one, I believe. Speedy down at the bottom. You recognize a lot of these names. Boosted did great. Boosted won the Garrett Wilson autograph jersey. Okay. Now, again, we didn't really come up with a prize for the. I kept mentioning I was going to do something for the other Superflex one, and we only had like I think 4 drafts on it, so it wasn't like we did it all. It was a very, very short amount of time, like 4 or 5, 6 drafts or something. I think with this one, Ibrahim, you won. And we didn't decide on what the prize would be. So, Underdog, right now, you should be receiving, Ibrahim, $100 inserted into your Underdog account as we speak for winning this draft. Congratulations, Ibrahim, winning first place, $100. Underdog credits coming to you, pal, on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They should be there shortly, within, I would say, 24 hours. Ibrahim, you have won. You have won the Superflex set. There was like 5, 6 drafts or whatever the heck there was. Fantastic job. Rock out. Jack of all trades hung up. Jack, you can call back. I didn't mean to ignore you there, but Rock out got 2 very close finishes. George from the Bay and where was Rock out was down. I forget. Rock out was these 2, and I think Travis was close on this other one. I remember seeing Travis in here somewhere. Travis did good. He was down here with me in this race right here, and I think everybody pulled away at the end. There were some guys that had some monsters, but Ibrahim, you just won $100. It's in your Underdog account waiting for you. Appreciate you winning that league. That was the Superflex. And I have another special announcement here for Boosted. Is Boosted in here? Ibrahim to the moon. Ibrahim, congratulations on winning. So not only does Boosted get the Garrett Wilson jersey autographed, Ibrahim gets $100. He's got that coming to his Underdog account as we speak. Congrats, Ibrahim. Go spend it however you want. That way you can get what you want. Their credits, it's in your Underdog account. Do it live. Is Boosted here? I don't know if Boosted is here. But I have an announcement to make, and this is why you should have been participating in this Garrett Wilson draft situation. Boosted finished 2389. Boosted 2882. You had the top two scores. We're going to give you, on behalf of Smitty and Underdog, $500 in Underdog credits coming to your account as we speak. As just a little special thank you for all of you, we wanted to throw that in just so you guys have some incentive. Jump in. I don't know that we're going to do that every year. A fantastic little addition there for Boosted. Boosted gets the Garrett Wilson jersey. Boosted gets $500 in Underdog credits sent to his account. Boosted, congratulations on winning the Garrett Wilson autographed jersey. And now you're all going to need to play this upcoming season because we're going to do it and run it back. Great job, Boosted. Great job. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. If you missed out on playing in these and you didn't get a chance to partake, you need to go to Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. But wow, Boosted, autographed Garrett Wilson jersey. A lot of people were in this one, and because he smashed it and won, the top two places, we did a little above and beyond for him. Ibrahim, congrats on your $100 that's sitting in there, and thank you very much for partaking in the best ball Superflex. That's the information I have there. Phone lines are open. Dial into the show. Let's go.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
All right, let's see what you guys got here. Terry Roberts, appreciate you being here. Matt Slater, appreciate you being here. Cajun, appreciate you being here. Spacula to the moon. I love seeing Spacula in here. ER says, give me an autographed HN jersey. Maybe we'll do an autographed HN jersey this upcoming offseason for sure. I think we look into that. Cooper Kupp over Puka 2024, says Josh. I mean, anything's possible, but I wouldn't take Cooper Kupp over Puka Nacua, bro. Cooper Kupp is turning 31 years old, my guy. The odds of him staying healthy are slim to none. That's why he's been breaking down. Boosted to the moon. Is Boosted in here? Has anybody seen Boosted? Is he in here? Boosted to the moon. Go check your Underdog account, pal. Do it live. Started Gibbs Hall Kyren, and I won. I bet you did, Wes. I bet you smashed it. That's phenomenal, bro. Congratulations. Congratulations, pal. I'm proud of you. We got another super chat coming in here. This one is from Trey. Trey says, where does HN rank week 18 if Mostert is back? I don't know, because they could literally sit guys. This is why you don't play week 18. And Trey, if you play week 18, you got to either get out of that league or you tell your commissioner to change it or you're out. Because you're not even going to get good advice on it from anybody you look to. Because you don't know. I mean, I would say, why would they play their starters? Why would they not just shove their third and fourth running backs into the lineup and save everybody? Why? You know what I mean? They're going to be there. It's going to be hard pressed for them, especially depending on Tua. What's Tua looking like? Tua, according to Miami Mike, Tua should be okay, but what if Tua isn't able to go or something? Then it's are you really going to throw your RBs, especially if they're losing? If they're winning, depends on this game. It's a big game, obviously, but I mean, you don't know. Let me look up Tua and see what the status is on Tua. But if Tua plays, then I guess I would say, I guess I would say you rank him inside the top 10 to 12, but you just don't know how much work he's going to get for how long. Okay, so the news on Tua is McDaniel's not concerned about Tua's shoulder. Tua Tagovailoa said earlier that his shoulder was just sore, so the news from McDaniel doesn't come as much of a surprise, although things considered, it sounds like Tua will be good to go for Week 18 when the Dolphins take on the Bills, a game that will decide the winner of the AFC East. So clearly it's an important game. I would say with this situation, expect all of them to try to give it a go full game. And if the game gets out of hand, they're going to rest their boys probably pretty early. So you really want to have a really good, close game the whole time. I would say running back 8 to 12 for Achan. Jacob, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, what's up?
What's up, bro?
Won the chip, double champ this year, feeling good.
Attaboy.
Just observation for next year. Already thinking about it. Is if Aaron Rodgers is healthy, wants to start next year, how high do you think Garrett Wilson's going to come up again? Are we all nervous with Aaron Rodgers' injury still? Do you think it's going to be the same round as Puka coming off, possibly second, third? What do you think?
I think that we're going to be very, very. We should be very, very cautious to just vault him right back up into like 7 or 8 overall. I want to put him in a position where he could have a misstep. You're not going to be able to put him in a position that if like A-Rod were to go down, you get a value. You're going to have to pay the price. No one's going to let Garrett Wilson fall to wide receiver 3 territory. But yeah, thank you, Trey. In the championship, when winning great content all season, try and get your commissioner to change that. Why, can someone call in and give me a valid reason why you play to Week 18? It's just ridiculously stupid. It puts so much ambiguity in play. There's no skill involved at that point, unless you're trying to predict what teams are going to clinch the playoffs, and you can't predict all that. That's not predictable stuff anyway, especially like you look at the Bills situation. I started off so bad, and you would have never probably guessed it would come down to a Week 18 game. I just think it's ridiculous. You're fortunate and lucky that the Miami Dolphins and HM will be fighting for a division win. You will be fortunate for that, but who the hell knows what's going to happen? How out of hand could the game get? If it's a good game the whole time, then you got some good scoring. The Bills are a tough D, though. They're very hungry. This is a tough game. It's going to be really tough. I still rank HM probably 8 to 12 no matter what, but you literally could see players not get used the same, and it's just like, why would you play Week 18? As for this question of Garrett Wilson, I would probably say, bro, I hope to God he's a second-round pick at the earliest. I don't want to be paying 8 overall value for him. I'm not saying I wouldn't if Aaron Rodgers is back and we see signs of them doing what they were doing last offseason and Garrett Wilson's grabbing like one-handed catches like out of nowhere. You just see this guy out there left and right, just snagging him, pulling him in, and we get all hyped up and amped up. I could see myself swinging into a 8 to 12 value, but I don't want to. I don't even know that I hope to God I don't have to take him at the turn, like 12, 13. I'm hoping like 15, 16. But, I mean, Garrett Wilson is a monster. We're fortunate that there's so many other great players like Laporta, Tank Dell, who I also don't want to pay anywhere near first-round value for. I want Tank to be a deal. But all these guys are going to make it very cloudy in that like 8 to 20 overall territory. So really will depend on how everything shakes out, how people finish, how, a lot of players do in the playoffs here. And then, maybe, somebody slips into the top 24 that shouldn't. Maybe another guy slips in and maybe some Nick Chubb. People are all amped up about Nick Chubb. I see a lot of Nick Chubb will come back and be a top 5 running back. You watch. I'm not, huh?
That's not going to happen.
I'm not going near Nick Chubb. No way. If he was in Alvin Kamara territory, like last offseason, round 8, round 9, round 10, I'll take a stab, sure. But top 5 to 10 running back value for Nick Chubb, whose knee went it's supposed to bend this way and it goes like this the other way. Do you know how much he tore in that knee? There wasn't even a full report as to exactly everything that was torn. They didn't want to release all that. I'm sure that is something that they tried to hold back. The first time he did it in college, he's the second time he's done it. The first time he did it in college, there wasn't really a big social media presence at all. And it was that long ago. Social media is, still in its infancy in terms of how everything gets covered immediately by everybody. And there's photos, videos everywhere. When Nick Chubb tore his knee the same fashion, ripped it completely a right angle in the wrong direction. In the frontward version of it. This last one was a sideways version of it. It had to have torn his ACL. There was a report that he tore everything but his ACL. I don't believe it. And we don't have any medical records, and we're going off of reports that are old. There's no way to find it unless he was to admit it or a doctor was to break violations and tell you. But Nick Chubb had to have torn his ACL on that first knee injury. And everything was just, even if you don't tear something, it is stretched to the point it's like a grade 2/3. I'm not going near Nick Chubb anywhere near
Give
that.
him another year.
But even that, like Ziggy, how old is Nick Chubb? What is he, 20?
Oh, yeah, true.
Nick Chubb is 27 years
27 years
He was
old.
born on December 27th, 1995 in Cedartown, Georgia.
Okay, so December 20, so he just turned 27. So that means he'll enter this year and play the whole year at 27, turn 28 at the end of the year. So that's his 27 age season. He'll go into his 28 age season. Is there a possibility he's a value of some kind? Maybe, sure, but like, there's no way.
Don't expect it.
Yeah, but good question on Garrett Wilson. All right, Jacob, hang tight real quickly. I'll come back to you in a second. DeBalt, you're live.
All right.
What's going on, Smitty? Talk Puka Nacua, and I love my Puka. If someone were to come in, and we don't know where MBH is at yet, but if someone were to come in and offer you, like say for instance they're in the Dynasty League or Keeper League, and they're going to offer you Puka Nacua for MBH. Let's just say he goes to Chicago or Arizona, a good fit, not New England or anything like that. Would you consider that a trade? Puka Nacua for MBH?
So we did I don't know if you saw the Dynasty video on this. Did you? Did you call in?
Yeah, no, yeah. But I was watching.
Okay, yeah. So I did a Dynasty. If you guys don't know, I have a Dynasty channel, and I'm doing a video every single day or a live stream every single day. We're gonna blow the Dynasty channel up. We're gonna make it the best Dynasty content on YouTube. There's no great Dynasty content out there, in my opinion, and so we're gonna do it live, and we're gonna drop it like it's hot every single day. And there's the link. So subscribe up, get ready. The Dynasty, I already did a Dynasty video. I did a Dynasty live stream on Puka Nacua right before the show began. And I had Puka around 6-7. And the community kind of did too. I manipulated the vote ranking a little bit because we didn't have a massive amount of people voting. So I kind of massaged the ranking a little bit. And I put him around 6-7. I had MHJ, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 5. This was Dynasty. This was a Dynasty conversation. So if you're talking Dynasty, I would probably say MHJ is my 4, 5, 6. Puka's my 6, 7, 8. That means that there is some overlap because I just said 6 for both of them. So 4, 5, 6 for MHJ. And that factors in not knowing where he's going, kind of. Because if he were to, let's say, go to the Cardinals or go to the Bears at 1, or my favorite location, which you will be seeing no fantasy football or NFL content creator talking more about this offseason than me. I'm going to make sure of it. Chargers. That is the best landing spot, the most logical landing spot. And if the Chargers want to fix things and give Herbert the ability to become a GOAT, then they need to go get Marvin Harrison Jr. And they'll probably need to trade up. And you go aggressively into that 2 spot because you know nobody could step over you. Now, Chicago, you could go aggressively to 1, but Chicago, how Fields is finishing is going to be interesting because I do think they want to move on, but I don't know that they can now because Fields is looking very promising. The fan base is excited. It's going to be weird. It's going to be an awkward offseason for the Chicago Bears. But if MHJ, Marvin Harrison Jr. went to Arizona, went to the Chargers, went to Chicago, I think you probably have him rank Puka Nacua. Let me go back to that screen. Puka Nacua would probably, or Marvin Harrison Jr. would probably rank in the 3, 4, 5 territory for me instead of 4, 5, 6. Puka's 6, 7, 8. So that overlap means that there's a world where they're both equal. But I'd rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. than Puka in Dynasty. That's not to crap on Puka at all. Calling Puka a top 6 wide receiver is still damn good. That's still very impressive. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But, I mean, Marvin Harrison... What?
How about in redraft? Where would you consider... Who would you take first in that case? In a redraft league, would you take the NBH? Depending on where he goes, one of those top...
No. In a redraft, you got to account for rising up, and I'm not saying you can't explode as a rookie like Marvin Harrison. He certainly could have a Jamar Chase season, but it'll probably most likely, as it always is with rookies, bro, week 1, week 17, there will be, even if he started off hot, there'll be some sort of lull in rookie wall before he explodes back up. And so at the end of the day, I think Puka's probably going to be like this, right? So, you know, maybe they at some point MHJ passes him at the very end in terms of value or something, and that's not even a guarantee, but Puka's going to be steady all year, where you're going to have this big potential rookie wall section that maybe MHJ hits. Just from redraft, no, you can't put MHJ over Puka Nacua in redraft. From a dynasty perspective, it's all a matter of, you know, what angle you're coming from. Are you building from the ground up? Do you have a chance to win in dynasty? Because if you don't in dynasty have a chance to win, Puka, you might as well trade him in for MHJ and wait on MHJ. Not to say this guy's, you know, he just got off his rookie year too, but I think you have the ability to wait on that. Whereas Puka could help you right now win. And so if you're in a dynasty mode and you want Puka over MHJ, that's not crazy either. Because it just depends on, you know, what you can do right now. Like if you've got CMC and you've got a couple older dogs, Puka's probably better for you because you're gonna have a little window of time anyway to win, and you can go win now with Puka. And then maybe you take a hit on Marvin Harrison Jr. being better than Puka, but who cares? Because you got a top 6, 7 wide receiver in Puka.
I have for the Dynasty show. I feel like depending on where he goes, MBH is going to be. I think it's going to be a really good discussion with these two dogs. You know, they're going to get fed no matter
Yeah. MHJ's landing spot. Like, imagine if he went to New England. You know, we've talked about this. We've talked about this quite a bit. If he went to New England, I'd probably throw up on my mouth. You know, if he went to the Giants, I'd probably throw up on my mouth. If he went to Tennessee, I'd throw up on my mouth. Like, there's a lot of opportunity down this entire, like, if this holds true to be the draft order for the most part, loosely, there are several locations that are garbage. There are several locations that they're not just bad, they're very bad. You know, but you gotta think that with the 4 or 5 elite and there are 4 or 5 absolute monster quarterbacks in this draft class. Not all of them will land, but there are 4 or 5 amazing prospects, way better than a lot of other years. That you got to think that Washington's looking at that, Chicago will look at that, New England's going to look at that, the Giants are going to look at that, and the Titans are going to look at that. So they'll probably go Levis. I think they'll probably give it one more whirl. But this concerns me because they might be saying to themselves, let's give Levis a wide receiver. Let's give him Marvin Harrison Jr. So probably the most susceptible team to think they have more value than they do in their quarterback. And I'm not saying Levis is garbage, but I don't want Marvin Harrison Jr. going here. I don't want him going here. I like a quarterback here with Dable. I don't like Marvin Harrison Jr. here. I in a sense, I want him with Dable, but not in New York because I think they don't have the team that supports that. But we'll see. Maybe they aggressively go after a quarterback. Maybe Dable. I'm not saying I love Russell Wilson, but like let's say Dable, corrals in Russell Wilson, and he's such a good QB developer. You know what I'm saying? All right, Jacob, DeBalt, we can't really hear you, bro. Call back if you can get a better connection. It sounds like you're really far away, and then there's a lot of breaking up. So call back if you got a better connection and you're a little bit able to talk a little louder. Jacob, anything else, bro?
Yeah, just a fun question for you to talk about. What do you
they're both healthy. Let's say this. What do you think is the better duo for next year? You got a Cooper Kupp and Puka, or Tank Dell and Nico Collins?
Puka and Puka and
that's a great duo right there for both squads.
And Kupp or Dell and Collins. You can make arguments for both. I mean, we got to figure out how healthy Dell is going to be. Stroud's going to get better. Could Kupp do it for another, maybe he misses time, but while he's on the field for 10 games, he plays really, really well. I think there's a possibility of that. I think Kupp doesn't necessarily have to vanish. He just probably will get hurt a lot. And he'll be great when he's on the field, but he'll, think of, think about his season this year, just on a maybe similar scale, because he did miss a lot of time. But Cooper Kupp still could have that one patchy, season of elite play on and off, and Puka could be, consistent all year long. I love Dell. He's coming back from injury. Probably not ready to answer this yet because we need to make sure he's 100% good to go, but these are both very, very good. I guess you probably lean toward the Puka Kupp side until we find out how healthy and how good he looks, in terms of Dell.
I'm also curious too, because at the end of the day, Cooper Kupp is Matthew Stafford's boy, so when it comes to redraft, I'm curious if people are still going to draft Cooper Kupp over Puka. How early?
You will see some people do that. I've seen it even in the playoffs. I'm surprised on the playoff drafts, the mittens on Underdog Fantasy, which I urge all of you to do. Go over to Underdog, the promo code Smitty. Let me drop the link right now. But on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty for the mittens, the playoff drafts. I'm really shocked, people that are banking on the Rams to make it are drafting on average Kupp over Puka. It doesn't really make sense to me, but that's the way that it's going. So I wouldn't be surprised if let's say Kupp finishes better, depending on what happens and how much they can extend this thing. I could see people thinking Kupp is going to be great, but if Puka outplays him in the short amount of time that they have left, depending on if how it all rolls and unfolds, I think that's going to determine a lot.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, Jacob. Later.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Anybody got another one dial into the show? Good questions, but a little early to know fully on Tank Dell. But Tank Dell definitely has the potential to be a top 10 wide receiver this year. We'll have to kind of tread lightly and make sure we're not overvaluing him. The last thing we want to do is make Tank Dell a freaking top 7 overall wide receiver selection when he's coming off an injury. We'll want to make sure we're smart about the value, smart about where we invest, smart about leaving room for upside, smart about making sure that we have the proper support in place for our teams to excel and thrive without having some sort of, over-investment on a player that doesn't deliver for half a season. 806 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Trey Fletcher. I just commented on your video.
What's
I'm
up?
from Lubbock, Texas.
What's up, Trey? What can I do for you?
Man, nothing, man. I was just going to clarify. I'm sad to say it, I am the commissioner of my league. I'm new to fantasy. I didn't think about Week 18. Me and my buddies just threw a league together. And I feel stupid about it, but I just wanted to see what you were feeling on A-Chan.
Yeah, I mean, assuming the game's in hand and everything, I mean, they're fighting for a lot, so I imagine he's going to have a good day.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, man, he sure helped me out.
He still has the toe injury, so I'm assuming he could be off the injury report and not even be listed, and that's gonna be a good thing, and then you'll feel more confident. But is there a world where they're like, hey, let's let Mostert take over here, you rest, let's keep resting these guys so that we can go fully healthy into the playoffs and still try and win, we don't know, but definitely feel like if it was me at this current moment in time, I feel really comfortable as H-Chan as my running back 2 or 3 at least. My flex play at least, but my number 2 running back for sure.
Bet. Well, I appreciate that, Smitty. You're the man, man.
All right, Trey. Appreciate you calling anytime, bro. Later. Dial in if you've got a question. The phone lines are open. We'll be here for another, half hour or so. HM will get a ton of touches. I agree. As long as everything looks good, copacetic, he's healthy off the injury report. Let me read you guys all the news for the day today, and then we'll break down. Zay Flowers, calf listed as it did not practice on Tuesday. Ravens did not practice, so the injury report is just an estimation. We don't have a lot of injury news right now. Even the Tua Tagovailoa, take it with a grain of salt because things could develop in a weird way later. This is like walkthroughs. These are projected injury reports. This is Tuesday. So really tomorrow is going to be a little bit better indication of who's playing, who's not. Don't take didn't practice today at all seriously. Zach Moss limited on Tuesday's walkthrough. Okay, walkthroughs, guys, understand what we're saying here. Kyler Murray reports the Cardinals plan to stick with Kyler Murray in 2024. That is pretty good news. I'm an Arizona Cardinal fan. I'm here in Arizona, and I like what I've seen out of him. I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind potentially going after one of these young rookie quarterbacks. It's a great rookie class, but at 4, projecting at the 4 pick, I don't know that I want the 3rd or 4th option. So I'd rather have Kyler. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, if Chicago doesn't go wide receiver and Washington and New England, if this was the stand, both took quarterbacks, I would never forgive the Arizona Cardinals. I would never forgive the Arizona Cardinals for passing on Marvin Harrison Jr. And it would be maybe not the most ideal out of all the dream scenarios, but it would be one of the better landing spots for sure that would be very acceptable. So Marvin Harrison Jr., that would be fantastic. Anthony with a $10 super chat. $10 super chats get a moonshot. Appreciate you, my boy, dropping this one. Hey, Smitty, I won my championship, won $450. This show helped a lot. H.N. Allen, St. Brown Pickens helped me in week 17. Gibbs, K9 Pollard, T.J. Hawkinson, Devonta Smith also carried me all year. Appreciate you. Hey, Anthony, appreciate you, my guy. Thanks for dropping that $10 holler, showing your support for the channel. And you are the man, the myth, the legend. Let's keep on going with the news here. Thank you. Appreciate you, Anthony. Jonathan Mingo reports the Panthers are placing Mingo on injured reserve. He's had a disappointing year. Noah Brown, back, hip, and knee, did not practice Tuesday. That's one to watch for sure. Let's see here. Smitty, are you going to be doing an NFL mock draft this year? Of course we will, King. I mean, King... What other show is even showing the NFL draft order right now, King? We're doing it live. We're doing it live, King. Dalvin Cook been released by the New York Jets. And guys, there's some potential. There's some potential of this situation. Hold on real quickly. Oh, okay, sorry. I was just reading a comment there. I thought I wanted... there was also a news report I thought was breaking right now. Dalvin Cook could be looked at by the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, is there a potential of, this guy potentially being brought in somewhere? But the Jets have released Dalvin Cook. I don't know that he's got any sort of value at all. Let's just put it that way. Sean McVay says he'll continue coaching in 2024. Howard, there we go. Trevor Lawrence, quarterback shoulder injury, is hopeful to play week 18. Tua Tagovailoa, I'm not really worried about the shoulder, according to head coach Miami Mike McDaniel about Tua Tagovailoa. Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan said Christian McCaffrey is dealing with a minor calf strain, won't play in week 18. Josh Allen is dealing with a minor neck soreness, not a big deal there. Jalen Hurts sitting. The Eagles will be sitting some of their starters for week 18. Or could be. It's in consideration. I'm sorry. It's in consideration, not a lock, but in consideration. Tyler Higbee suffered dislocated shoulder in the Rams week 17. Nick Mullins has already decided. Head coach Kevin O'Connell said that he has already decided on the team's week 18 starter, but won't announce it until he has a chance to speak to the team. O'Connell will likely announce his decision Tuesday, as the team isn't in the building on Monday. I'm trying to see it. Nick Mullins looks like the early favorite. Lamar Jackson. It's not been decided if the Ravens will play Lamar Jackson at all in week 18. I imagine the Ravens will play a little bit of their starters because they won't want cobwebs. It's a lot of time off. When you clinch the first round bye, it's a lot of if you take off this week, we're talking about like over half a month. That you'll be sitting. So I don't know that they want them being that rusty, but you certainly don't want to risk injury. So it's a fine line. But if you play week 18 like our boy Trey did that called in, you can't use Lamar. He's probably going to sit. Jalen Hurts is going to play just a very short amount of time. Now Jalen Hurts could score 2 touchdowns in the first quarter and then sit. But, it really is luck at this point playing that. Also, what QBs you like in this draft, Smitty? My Falcons need one. I'll be doing a breakdown of the quarterbacks. Just hang tight. That video is coming. And this is a very, very good quarterback class, my boy. It is a fantastic class. You're going to absolutely love a lot of the quarterback content. You got Bo Nix. You got Michael Penix Jr. You got Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May. There are several quarterbacks that are fantastic fits for the Atlanta Falcons. The question would be, do the Falcons have a high enough pick to get one of the elite ones? Will they get left with the 4th or 5th one? Or will all 5 of the quarterbacks go before pick number 9? Like, if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm not waiting for the leftovers. I'm going and getting the guy that best fits the offense, and you're not going to get that at number 9. So I'd probably say I love Nix, bro. I think Nix for the Atlanta Falcons would be a fantastic choice. I think Penix Jr. would be elite in Atlanta. So, and Caleb Williams would also be good. But I think you're going to find out that this QB class is really good, and it's a lot closer than I think people are making it out to be. Caleb Williams has got a lot of upside, but there's no for sure Caleb's better than Bo Nix. There's no for sure Caleb's going to be better than Penix Jr. You quite honestly, JD5 Jaden Daniels, JD5 they call him, just like AR5. So we have AR5, we have JD5. JD5 could potentially be, as good as anybody in this class. It just really depends on fit. But I think first you got to get rid of Arthur Smith. But I think this Falcons offense needs to go to an attack that doesn't have a running quarterback. I don't want that for freaking Bijan Robinson. You want a mobile quarterback. You want a mobile quarterback in today's NFL, but I think you want a gunslinger. So honestly, I think Penix is a gunslinger. He can run, he's mobile, but he's a gunslinger. So Penix Jr. in the Atlanta Falcons situation would be elite. London to the freaking moon. And quite honestly, I'd rather, if I'm Chicago, I don't know. I like Fields, but the more I'm looking at this quarterback class, the more I've delved into it, the more film I watch, and I watched a ton yesterday just to make sure I'm more prepped and ready for QB content than ever. I'm feeling like if I was at 1 and I could get what I wanted out of Fields, like I could move that 10 pick up to the 2 using Fields, and like Washington, Fields, they would take Fields. You might even get more than that move up too. But you trade Fields to the Washington Commanders, at least as it stands right now, for Fields. Move that 10 pick up to 2. You take Penix Jr. or Bo Nix or whoever, Caleb Williams, whoever's your number 1. I think Penix Jr. would be great. And you take Marvin Harrison Jr. with the 2 pick. That's how I would create a team that would be dominant for a decade plus. And the Atlanta Falcons would be smart to move up to 2 or 3 to grab either Nix or Penix, or go ahead and get their hands on Caleb Williams. I don't know. It's going to be phenomenal. It's a great question. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. And Theo is live on the phone line. Theo, what can I do for you?
Yeah, I was just wondering what you think about Penix's draft stock since he played so well yesterday. Since before yesterday, I was really wanting him to go to the Seahawks, stay in Washington. I think that'd be great for JSN, but
Yeah, bro.
And DK, because he can sling. And
yeah, bro.
he's
It's
obviously a deep threat.
Penix
What
Jr.
do you think about Penix's draft stock?
I think Penix Jr., like what he did yesterday and what he still is going to, like his upside is probably.
Motion detected at the front door.
I think that's my pot stickers and fried rice. Yeah, buddies. Penix Jr.'s upside, bro. If I had to throw like Stroud, you know how Stroud feels right now. I think the end of his rookie year, he could be in the exact same value range as Stroud. And where would you rank Stroud? Would you say Stroud is capable of being top 5 or 6 this year?
Yeah, 6 or 7 for me.
Yeah. Like, could I see Penix Jr. being ranked higher than Lamar Jackson, Stroud, Burrow in fantasy by his entering his second year? I'm not saying that he is for me. I'm saying, can I see it, envision it? Is it possible? 100%. Like, the thing about Penix Jr., I'll have this on a video, is this guy his efficiencies through the roof, bro. Through the roof. I saw a stat yesterday that said that this guy's throwing over 10 yards. I think it's 11 yards per play.
Wow.
I know this is a dumb question. It's a rhetorical question, but like, do you know what that means? That means every time he throws, it's a first down. Every time he throws, it's a first down. And his it's unbelievable. And then when you mix in the fact, and I saw another stat, and just watched so much footage on him, but his average, his like where he lives in terms of 20 plus yard plays is astronomically high. And the fact that he's throwing so many of these 20-yard passes, and he's converting a crazy. Hold on a second. Well, what's going on there? Come in. Put your helmet on. Let's do this proper. Put your helmet on. Okay. Okay. Do you want to say hi? You want to say hi? Okay. Let's see. You can press any button you want on the board. Okay. I want you to press your favorite button. Go. Press any button. Let's see what she picks. Hurry.
He is a unicorn.
Okay, one more. Press one more button. Any button you want. You want to take phone calls? All right. Hey, I got to go. See you later. Where were we? Penix. Oh, I don't know what I was saying. Other
yards.
Yeah,
we're talking about 20-yard or more.
This bro throws. Yeah, this bro throws so efficient above 20 yards, and it's just crazy when you see how efficient he is when he's launching these deep balls down the field. It always seems like he's throwing a 20-yard pass. It always seems like he's throwing a 30 or 40-yard pass. They'll throw on fourth down. They'll throw a missile down the field. They have such trust in this guy and his ability to scramble, he's accurate. He throws lasers. He throws missiles. But also Bo Nix throws missiles and lasers as well. Like, this guy's an absolute phenom. Bo Nix is exciting. And if anybody hasn't seen Bo Nix and doesn't know how good Bo Nix could be, the fit is important for these rookie quarterbacks, no doubt about it. But Bo Nix is probably, I would say, the underdog of, like, maybe if you say Caleb and you say probably Michael Penix Jr. and then maybe you go, like, I think some people like Drake May. And then it's like Jaden Daniels, and then Bo Nix, or Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels. Everybody's kind of all over the map right now. But I'd say he's kind of like the underdog of being the best of this group, because so many people are excited about May. So many people are excited about Penix, and so many people are excited about Caleb Williams and have been excited about Caleb Williams. So this guy's a very, very like dark horse. This would be like the what's the best way to describe? I don't know. This guy reminds me a lot of. I'm trying to think of a comp for him. I was gonna say something, but I don't. No. I feel like there's not a very good comp for him. Is probably why I'm struggling for, because he's so unique. But this guy throws missiles that are like very low trajectory. They don't fly up very high, and it's like the accuracy he's going to have at the NFL level by throwing a football that doesn't even go as high as the goalpost will lead to less interceptions. It's the ball's hanging in the air a lot less time, but he can throw a nice raindrop as well. But Bo Nix's football is amazing. I would say, like, watching him, Penix throws an amazing football, but for some reason this guy's delivery, how he does it, how he throws it into windows, tight windows, is probably the most impressive. They all do different things, but I think Bo Nix is freaking very, very underrated. But we'll see, bro. I can't wait to do the quarterback video. I will say this. I'll give away a little bit of rookie content here. These videos are coming. They'll be probably YouTube premieres, and the quarterback one might come first, to be honest with you, or the wide receiver one. This
motion detected at the backyard.
This running back class is not anywhere near as good as last year's. And last year, we didn't get what we wanted out of it fully. You know, like Bijan was the top of the running back class, and we got nothing really out of it. And so I think people are going to be a little disappointed in this RB class. It does not have a Bijan, and Bijan didn't even deliver. It does not have a Jahmyr Gibbs, but we have guys that I believe in the right spot could be really, really good. Like, we have guys in the right spot could be top 8 to 15 capable, but nobody feels like they're going to be 1 to 5. You know, there's no guy that, like, Jahmyr Gibbs felt 1 to 5. He felt like maybe he wouldn't do it, but he felt 1 to 5. Breece Hall felt 1 to 5. 2 years in a row, we've loved Breece Hall.
What RB is replaceable that's a starting running back on an NFL team right now?
Well, I mean,
as the number one spot.
I mean, there are a few openings, but it's not like the Ravens could use a starting RB. Keaton Mitchell tore his knee up bad, so he's not necessarily going to come back right away. There are landing spots where I think, you know, Dallas needs a running back. They're not gonna try this Tony Pollard thing again. There are definitely some spots. They're few and far in between. The problem with the running backs too, though, is you're playing Russian roulette with running back landing spots as it is, and with the limited amount of landing spots, the odds of, let's say, the Ravens or the Dallas Cowboys taking the running back we want, or one of the other few spots that have a vacancy, like you're saying, the odds are a team we don't want to draft the top 1 or 2 RBs is going to draft the 1 or 2 RB. Like, that's the problem with and so you're going to see me for the first time in probably 10 years be very, very cautiously optimistic about this year's running back class. Now, I do have 1 or 2 that I'm going to pump up pretty good, but I'm telling you, this is going to be a weird year for a lot of you that are used to me saying this running back's going to the freaking, you know, Saturn. Maybe there's a rookie running back moon man. Okay, maybe there's 2 moon men that are running backs that are rookies. There's certainly the possibility. But all I'm saying is this does not have the feel that everybody's going to want it to feel. This is the year of Marvin Harrison. This is the rookie draft of the quarterback. And it's going to be a remarkable quarterback class. This quarterback class is going to probably produce at least 2 top 10, maybe more, but 2 top 10 quarterbacks, one of which will be top 6. So
awesome.
It's a great QB rookie class. It's a great wide receiver rookie class, just with Marvin Harrison alone in it. And it's a very mediocre running back class that we've seen proven over time can still be awesome. I don't know if you were around. I don't know if you were even born.
I'm only 19. So
yeah, I don't know if you. So how old were you when Arian Foster was doing his thing? That was 2010. So yeah,
I would say.
yeah, you weren't playing fantasy. Arian Foster, I was on NBC Sports Radio. This was I was 6 years into my fantasy football career at this point. And so I would go on NBC and CBS Sports Radio and drop my famous bold predictions. The Moon Men, the Mars Men, the Space Men. It was called something different. But I would go on there and drop my bold predictions. And where I made a big name for myself was Arian Foster. And LaShawn McCoy. And LaShawn McCoy and Arian Foster were both very, very lowly ranked. A lot of people liked McCoy, but he was a 4th or 5th rounder in fantasy football drafts as a rookie. Arian Foster was a 6th and 7th round pick that climbed into the 5th round with some preseason play. His rookie year, he did nothing until week 16 and 17. That was back when there was only 17 weeks. In week 16 and 17, Arian Foster did really well. It was his rookie year. He was an undrafted free agent, and no one really felt he was coming. He was a 6th and 7th round pick all offseason. I went on CBS. I think it was CBS then. The show bounced back and forth on NBC and CBS. 19 straight years on radio, the longest running fantasy football radio program in the world until the pandemic took it out. But I went on there in 2010, and I said Arian Foster was going to be not a top 5 running back. You oftentimes hear me clarify this, but a top 1 to 5 running back. Give him his flowers. Give him his potential range of outcomes that is deserving. That Arian Foster will be a top 1 to 5 running back, and he's a 6th or 7th round pick. It's probably my biggest prediction back in the day that I dropped. And I'll admit to you, Arian Foster was not one of the best running backs to ever play the game physically. He was really good. He was fantastic. But Arian Foster was no elite specimen of a player. He was in a great system, and he was a good running back. He was a good, maybe really good running back. Not great, amazing, elite, top of the class. He was an unrestricted free agent for a reason, but he fell into the most elite situation. So, just in all of that, want to preface that landing spot is everything. If a good running back, let's call it Blake Corum, and I'm not even a huge Blake Corum fan to the degree some people are. If he fell into the right system, like Baltimore, he would be potentially great. He would be a good running back turned amazing. Okay, but I don't love his skill set. If he goes to a mediocre situation, I don't think talent will rise up and shine through. I don't think he'll float to the surface, but it depends where he goes. If he goes somewhere amazing, he could be a perfect fit. He could be a top 6 to 10 running back. Arian Foster was the number 1 running back in fantasy football for a handful of years. It was as good a seasons as Priest Holmes brought. It was as good a seasons as LaDainian Tomlinson brought. It was as good as Marshall Faulk. It was as good as Christian McCaffrey. You weren't there to remember it, but Arian Foster was that good. And he wasn't that good at the same time. And so that's all I'm saying is, while I'm cautiously optimistic on the rookie running back class, landing spot will determine how good they are.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't even watched any tape on it. A single college running back this year.
Yeah, Corum's a good college running back, and like I said, in the right spot, he could be good. He needed a lot of work, I think, in going back to college. It was good for him. I was not super high on him translating to the NFL last year when he was potentially going to come out, and this is the Michigan running back, and he ended up going back to college, played, looked fantastic in that game yesterday. I mean, he was unbelievable. But it's in college, and he's a smaller back. He's beefy, though. He's like 210, but that's what he's listed as. We don't really know what he weighs because it's always not the same. He could be like 203, but he's like 5'7", 5'8". I want to say he's going to come in around 5'7". He's a small guy, very stocky. No reason why it couldn't translate in the idealist of ideal situations, but he needs to go somewhere freaking amazing. If he goes somewhere amazing, then he could develop, just like Arian Foster became the number 1 fantasy football running back for a handful of years, and he wasn't an amazing specimen. Situation's that important. So Blake Corum still has wiggle room to be great. It's just on the surface level, I'm not feeling Bijan Robinson on any level, and he's nowhere close to being as good as like Marvin Harrison from a positional standpoint comparatively to the other players in the field. Priest Holmes was a fantasy freaking machine, Charles, and he was really good though. But he also was, I don't want to say a benefactor of situation, but he was, he was better than Aaron Foster from a talent perspective, from a physical specimen level. But I mean, bro, he was unreal. Priest Holmes was unreal, but he was unreal in that KC offense. It was like every handoff from like the 10-yard line was a sweep that was in the end zone. It was like a 10 9-yard run. It was going to be a touchdown for for Priest Holmes, and Priest Holmes would literally walk into the end zone. It was crazy.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, Theo. Anything else?
All right. No, that's it. Thank you.
Later, bro. Yeah, it's just gonna be an interesting year, and the rookie content is on the way. Again, all of these guys, Neighbors, Corum, they're all. We're gonna have a lot of rookie content coming downstream very, very soon, and landing spots will be so important and vital in terms of ranking these guys and where they need to go. And there have been years where I feel like. And Bijan was part of this, where we're like, this situation doesn't really matter. It does, but it doesn't. Obviously, situation kicked the value of Bijan in the sack. And, I think when we look at the teams that need RBs and we envision the likelihood that a player is going to fall to the right exact spot, it's sometimes hard to envision, right? Like Chicago... they're not going with an RB anytime in the first round, or who the hell knows if they even address the running back position in the second round. So the one or two running backs like Corum or whoever is your guy, whether it's Williams or whoever, wherever they go, will be very, very dependent on that situation being one of the 3 or 4 that we identify. So I'll say this at the risk of ruining some of the rookie content that's coming out. There is 1 to 2 running backs that I think has the potential to be potentially a top 10 running back if they're in the right spot. They just don't necessarily have the Bijan vibe, but one of them I do like quite a bit if he's in the right spot. And another one, like I said, and then Blake Corum, have the potential in the most ideal of situations. Now, Blake Corum, the one thing I love about Blake Corum is he's a genuine dude. Everybody loves him. He's a positive guy, and he's a hard worker and grit. And his coach loves him. His team loves him. And wherever he goes, he's going to be a favorite, of the locker room, a locker room favorite. He's going to be a hard worker. So get ready for that. It's going to be amazing. But the rookie content's coming. I'll probably have maybe I'll try and do the running back video soon, because I know that's what everybody really wants, is the running back video. But yeah, Henderson, Blake Corum, you got Benson. I think I said Williams earlier. I was meaning to say Henderson. Blake Corum. There's a load of RBs that are potentially in the mix of being that 2-3. Like even if we look at let me pull it up right here. Even if we look at so Corum, Henderson, Benson, Bucky. Bucky's really good. Bucky Irving is a solid prospect. Where he lands is going to be vital though. Corum, those are kind of the top backs. You got Allen. You've got Shipley. There are several players that are potentially in the mix for being sleepers too. That will be guys that if they land in the right spot and they have a chance to climb, they climb. But the guys that will be drafted to start are probably in that handful of guys I just listed off. But Henderson is phenomenal. He's got a lot of upside. Not to ruin anything. Benson's solid. Bucky is phenomenal. He's got a little bit of Jahmyr Gibbs to him, and Corum is he a Kyren type player? Potentially in the right spot, and is he potentially not going to translate at the end of the day in the wrong spot? I think there's that risk. So get ready for it. rookie content on the way, especially the quarterbacks, especially the wide receivers, and then I think, regrettably, we won't have the same hype around the RBs, but there are three very good potential RB landing, players that could land in the right spot. But we'll have more on that. Corum to the Ravens would be unbelievable. Harbaugh to Harbaugh, that would be, and that's the one thing we will talk about as far as like, if Corum goes here, he'll be very solid. You get the most out of him. This becomes that Arian Foster situation. If Corum goes to, let's say, a crowded backfield like Tampa Bay, where they want to run the ball more between the tackles, and Corum's not thought of, not saying just like people judged Walker and said he couldn't catch the football, or Zeke Elliott when Zeke Elliott came out. I think Corum could catch the football. But if Corum goes to Tampa Bay, where Tampa Bay doesn't feel like they're running the ball well between the tackles, and as much as everybody wants to say they love Rashad White was averaging abysmal 3.2 or 3.3 or whatever it was yards per carry on the ground, and his own coaching staff has said they need to run the ball better in 2024. He was amazing, Rashad White, catching the football. He'll continue to be the third down back. He'll continue to get a ton of work in the air. But if Tampa drafted Blake Corum would be very one-dimensional because you'd have Rashad White and Blake Corum tandem. So those are the kind of nightmare scenarios that I think, because the landing spots are very minimal for RBs, teams needing a workhorse RB, really, 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 really worrisome that the right running back falls to the right situation. Example, Dallas would be pretty solid. Like Henderson and Dallas would be kind of my choice for Henderson's landing spot. And if TreVeyon Henderson went to Dallas and became the starting running back there, he could be top 8. He'd be a top 8 running back in that situation. My email, it's Smitty at. Just go to, you can email me through the contact form here, pal, if you want. That might be easiest. Just go to the site, bottom of the site, contact. Or hit me at Smitty at. Appreciate you, bro. All right. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Any more phone calls real quickly? Anybody specifically want to talk about Kyren Williams going to Saturn, everyone? Here is the Saturn announcement if anybody missed it.
The Saturn men.
One small step for man, one giant leap for Saturn.
Spaceman.
Yeah, people are gonna. I see a couple of the Rashad White comments. People are gonna want to defend Rashad White aggressively, and I'm with you. He's a Moon Man graduate. We love Rashad White from a lot of angles, but there has been already rumblings inside Tampa from the top down that they want to run the ball better. They need to run the ball better, and so they're potentially looking to keep Rashad White and in that receiving role, but they easily could draft another RB because they aren't happy with the yards per carry on the ground. And it was abysmal. As much as Rashad White played amazingly, it was 3.2 or 3.3 or whatever the hell it was per carry. So they're 100% going to look at an RB. And the problem with this class, like I said, is it doesn't scream Bijan anywhere or Gibbs. And so we might be looking at a draft class where not a single running back goes in the first round. And then when that happens, you have teams that don't necessarily need running backs that will take the top ones. It's when you force it, like Gibbs and Bijan, even though Bijan didn't get used properly, Gibbs and Bijan went to the most ideal on paper situations because no one's going to spend that draft capital on a running back and not use them, right? Until Arthur Smith entered the chat. But on paper, it was all amazing. All the landings, but in the second and third round, teams that don't necessarily need RBs will spend the draft capital on an RB. And, it's going to get dangerous. The further running backs fall in the draft, the more volatile the projecting the landing spot becomes and the more disappointed we could potentially become. And Anthony says also what QBs you like in this. Okay, I think I answered that one. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate your super chat. Ron Navy, you're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty?
What up?
So, Harbaugh, Jim, opened a head coaching job in the NFL. So where would you put him? San Diego?
Yeah.
Or maybe New England? Or Atlanta? And you think that he takes Corum with him? If he goes to, he'll probably draft. He probably draft Corum. I'm sure he loves that kid.
Yeah, if he had the right pick for him, but it's not San Diego, it's L.A. L.A. Chargers would be a fantastic place for him. The hoodie is linked. The hoodie's linked to the Chargers, but I mean Marvin Harrison Jr. is my optimal player to land there, but there's no reason with the draft capital of RBs being kind of questionable in this class, like in terms of value that your investment, you could land Marvin Ravens or Cowboys. We're good. We'll get a top 10 running back out of that landing spot player combination. My whole cautionary tale here is just to say we need landing spot to support these RBs. They are a little bit lesser physically, but that doesn't mean they can't develop either. Like look how good Kyren is, but Kyren's in an unbelievable situation. Like as much as this is about Kyren right now, this is a Kyren show. Kyren, I loved him as a rookie. I thought he'd unseat Akers immediately, and then he got hurt his rookie year. This was his second year for people that think this is his rookie year. And I absolutely loved Kyren coming out. I think he was a phenomenal specimen, but he still didn't screen this value we're seeing. It is absolutely player plus situation. But what sometimes happens is a player develops into such an amazing player that even if we were to remove Kyren now from the situation and plug him in, let's say to Dallas, you'd see the same player. So I do believe he is an elite player now. He developed into an elite player, and you aren't what you are coming out of college. Sometimes you can evolve and develop. So I think Corum, he comes into the NFL. I like Henderson the most from a talent perspective, but these guys come into the NFL, not Bijan, not Jahmyr Gibbs, but 100% could be as valuable or more if they fall into an elite situation. And Harbaugh, in a Chargers situation, drafting his favorite college player would spell a great situation. So that would be good. Baltimore would be good. Harbaugh, the Harbaugh handoff, that could be good.
What about New?
Where?
If they get rid of Bell, what about New England?
Stevenson?
No, I'm talking about Harbaugh.
Oh.
And everybody's wondering, Anthony just said he doesn't think he stays in Michigan, but he's looking to get out of college football after what the Big Ten just put him through. He doesn't want to stay there.
Yeah.
He wants to go make money in the NFL.
I hope not New England, because I don't think that's I hope Travis is in here. Travis, get your earmuffs on for a minute. That team is far away. They're so far away, but he is the guy that maybe revitalize a team. Yeah, sure, but I think if I'm him and I want to go in and not fail out of the NFL, the last thing I want to do is go to a team that's not ready. I want to go to the Chargers. The Chargers are like somebody walked into an amazing store front that has amazing products. Let's just say somebody terrorized a Best Buy, and you're going into it, and it's got amazing things. They're just knocked all over the place off the shelves. It needs a little cleanup, or call it a house, turning over a house and reselling a house. You don't want to walk into a crap box and say, well, I think I could do something with it, but I got to redo the whole thing. It's in a bad neighborhood. How am I going to make this work? The Chargers have a lot of the amazing pieces in place. They need a wide receiver. Quentin Johnston's not it. He was soft coming out. We knew he was the most likely soft wide receiver, the biggest one that wasn't playing big at all. And he could develop a little bit, but you have Mike Williams. Give me a break. Wasted money there. Eckler's getting older. This team needs something amazing. And if they get a coach that can coach up Herbert, give him Marvin Harrison Jr., bring in a Blake Corum in the second round, or you draft Bucky in the third round, let's say, and you have a solid little team like that. Or you even bring in like a Saquon Barkley, you bring in a Josh Jacobs, whatever. Like you could handle this via free agency, and also keep in mind that free agency is not that expensive. Some people say, let's draft a rookie so we can save money. You don't have to save rookies. Running backs are as cheap as rookies practically. I'd venture to say Jacobs couldn't get $12 million a year. You know, who knows if he gets 10? So Jacobs going to the Chargers and drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. with Herbert would be, with a Harbaugh, would be a recipe for glory.
Here's the problem with San Diego. What you said is 100%.
It's L.A., Ron. It's L.A. As much as you want it to be, it's L.A.
Whatever. Okay, L.A., okay, for him to go to L.A., they're not going to pay it. They don't pay their coaches. I mean, the writing's on the wall. They never have. And they just hired the coach they just fired because they didn't want to pay the money for a good coach. So they brought in an inexperienced coach who's ruining Herbert and them. So Harbaugh's going to want, some control. And San Diego, that's the problem with San Diego, is the ownership. They will not dole out the money.
Yeah, but
let's see if maybe they do. It'd be great fit. It'd be great.
Yeah, the Cardinals were that way. The Cardinals were that way too. I think at this point you have a team that has a quarterback and so much investment in it that they're ready to make some steps they weren't ready to make in the past. I think they 100% are at the point where it's like, we either take this tool that is Justin Herbert and turn him into a top 5 quarterback and win a freaking title game at least, or we're wasting a lot of money. We might as well throw some good money at good and try and figure out how to turn this thing around. I think they'll be fine. I think bringing in a big coach is going to be something that has to happen. I think people know that. Could they go crafty? I guess. I don't know that it'd necessarily be a negative if it's the right fit. But the Chargers need to do something immediately, and I think that they're going to be aggressive. I think they're going to finally be aggressive. I think they know that they've messed up multiple times. I think you're going to see the Denver Broncos get a little aggressive. I don't know if they'll be successful doing it, but I think the Chargers and the Broncos know that they've got this window. Especially, I think Sean Payton knows that he's actually not like on a short leash, but like I think everybody's questioning whether he's still going to be able to do this. Is he a product of a lot of different things and coming over here? Like he was handed Russell Wilson essentially, and he wanted to move on, and here he goes. He gets to do what he wants. But I think Sean Payton is going to get aggressive. I think the Chargers as an organization are going to get aggressive. And I think maybe this is going to be the year of Justin Herbert potentially doing something, or at least the progression toward that. But they need to get a running back in, whether it be Barkley, Jacobs, or drafting a Blake Corum, let's say, or somebody. Henderson, more potentially even better player. These are all things that have to happen. Like if they don't go get an RB aggressively, if they don't go get a good coach and a great wide receiver, then we're in trouble. Higgins might be okay.
It started last year. We were talking about all this same stuff about coaches and everything, and it was like these teams are stupid. Everything that we said almost, except for the Jets getting their quarterback that they wanted. We had so much hope. Remember, we were putting coaches in certain places, and hardly any of it came.
Yeah, and that's natural. Like
being stupid.
That's natural. Yeah, I mean, what we think is right, and what the coaches end up doing, and especially with draft picks. But here are the top free agents here, walking into 2024. You've got Ridley. What was Ridley's contract? Was there a Calvin Ridley contract? I want to see what he's unrestricted free agent, right? He's not a restricted free agent. He is an unrestricted free agent. So Calvin Ridley's an unrestricted free agent. That will be interesting. Like Calvin Ridley we haven't mentioned him at all, going elsewhere. And I know everyone's disappointed by him, but he's an elite talent still. I truly believe that. I think they misused him quite heavily in Jacksonville. If he landed in a Chargers situation, that would be pretty solid. If he went to LA, T. Higgins, although I'm a little skeptical whether he's a true elite wide receiver one that can stay healthy, because I think he craps the bed whenever he's given a long time to produce. Mike Evans is older, but does he have a year left? Gabe Davis, I don't think he's a true wide receiver one on any level. So Hollywood Brown, I don't think he's the kind of guy that's going to turn everything around. He's a good addition to a team, but I think it really comes down to, from the free agent perspective, Mike Evans, but does he have another year left? Maybe, maybe not. T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley. If you're going free agent wide receiver shopping and you are the Chargers, you better go get Calvin Ridley. If you're going to draft a player, which would be my preference, you go get Marvin Harrison Jr., you go get a Neighbors, you go get a potential Jacobs or Barkley, etc. That's how you turn this Chargers team around. But we'll see. I mean, you're right, Ron. What we say here logically might not actually play out. The Chicago Bears, and that's
it's just like saying, I don't want Kirk Cousins to go anywhere, but what happens if Atlanta comes out and gives them the bag?
Well, that's what I keep telling you.
How do we get them then?
That's what I keep telling you. I know you're hell bent on Cousins returning.
Look at Atlanta with the weapons they got with Cousins. Okay, all right. If he takes the bag and goes to Atlanta, he can take that team to the Super Bowl. I feel.
Yeah, I think that Minnesota is not a lock for Cousins to return. I know it's where you're finally hearing you for the first time say there's maybe a world where he doesn't go back to Minnesota.
No, of course.
But
if somebody's going to pay, he's going to go where the money is, because he's in his mid-30s. He's going to go where the money's at. So if a team shells out the bucks for him,
it's the first time I've heard you say that. Okay, so yeah, I mean, and the other thing too is Minnesota. If Minnesota doesn't retain Cousins like at all costs, they will be, in my assessment. And again, this is like Ron just said, what we think is going to happen does not even freaking happen half the time. But logically, I would think if the Vikings don't retain Cousins and they don't go heavy after that, they will be moving up in the draft. Personally, Ron, I know you love Cousins, but I would rather see, well, okay, for the now, I'd rather have Cousins. But given Cousins is, and I know that Aaron Rodgers has proven you can go to an old age, Brady proved it. I think that it would feel like you're taking a little bit of a hit at first, but I truly believe in this rookie quarterback class. I think potentially going and getting a Penix Jr.
I think
ultimately we'd be better for the Vikings, given how young Jefferson is, given how good I believe Penix could be in that system. I mean, that system airs it out. Huh?
Penix has a history of injury.
He does.
Team's gonna. That's the thing. Is how well is he gonna? Even if he gets drafted, how well is he gonna perform?
Well,
and how healthy is he gonna stay in the NFL? I don't like Penix. I don't like Bo Nix. I think they're gonna be bust, just like Bo Callahan in the draft.
I like Bo
Nix, I think. any name with Bo.
Ron hates him because of Bo Callahan. But Bo Nix is a potential gunslinger, bro. I like Bo Nix a lot. He has his release, his throwing stop. Like, he's crafty too. He's great escaping. He can run. All these quarterbacks can kind of run now. But Bo Nix I like a lot. Bo Nix in a Minnesota situation would be pretty damn elite, I think. I think Nix, I think Caleb Williams. I know you hate Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams in the right spot. I think he is. He might. You'll find out that he might not even be my number one quarterback. So I'm not necessarily following the trend of everybody else. But I think everybody, like presidential candidates that'll come up out of nowhere and everybody likes to jump on a different trend. I think you're seeing a lot of people jump off Caleb as the one. People are really into the Penix Jr. hype right now, but for good reason. He looks phenomenal. And I think you're right that there's some injury concerns, but the fact that he's leaving college football the way he is, healthy, balling out, I don't think that many teams are going to hold it against him. I think his upside is massive. I think if he goes to play with JJ, he will have top 6, 7 fantasy football quarterback value in a very short period of time. Might take a year to get to that level, but we'll see. I think Stroud-like potential. What Stroud did this year, I think one of these quarterbacks will easily do and look that good. Like, Stroud's looking like a top 6 quarterback right now for the future. And I think we come out of 2024 with either Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Penix Jr. I don't know that it's going to be. I don't know it's going to be May personally. I think May is solid, but I don't think. I don't know. It depends where he lands. I like May in the right spot. He's a good potential prospect for sure, but landing spot will definitely determine a lot. And then JD5. JD5's landing spot is going to be very, very interesting.
Jackson Dart's my guy.
There are a lot. This class is good, bro.
Huh?
This class is good. It's a good QB class.
Yeah, he plays in the SEC. He plays the hard teams in the SEC. He threw for over 3,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. I like Dart. Dart's my guy.
Yeah.
Pre-draft, I'm going with Dart.
Real quickly, first year playing season-long fantasy, won 12-man league. Thanks to the show. Watch all of the offseason to dial in my draft strategy and followed your waiver wire start sit advice. Let's run it back. Max Swanson, appreciate your 20. I'm sorry it took me so long to actually hit this button. Max, you still here?
Alert. Super chat alert.
Max, I'm sorry about the delay on that, pal. Max, you still here? Hopefully Max is still here. Max to the moon, appreciate you. All right, Ron, I got to get going. I got pot stickers and fried rice waiting for me. I'll be back probably to do another video, to be honest. I did a Dynasty stream earlier on Puka Nakua. Go check that out on the Dynasty channel. If anybody hasn't subscribed to the Dynasty channel, here is the link to the Dynasty channel. We're going to blow the Dynasty channel up. I'm even so excited and amped up about it. I got rid of my text line. The text line is done on the fantasyfootballshow.com in terms of content. It was too hard to maintain. For anybody wondering if this has to do anything to do with the dial-in phone line, it's not the same. Some people think that's where the text line is. The text line was my text advice, and I had a package where you could text me, and it just took 5 to 6 hours a day. I'd pull up my phone, and I was proud that I was the only one to really offer this. Some people have like weird services that kind of delve into it, but I literally, responded to everybody's text. And I'd pick up my phone every 5 hours out of 80, 90 messages with like 5 graphics attached to every. Can you imagine? I think I got older by about 5 years every year that I did it. I did it for 2.5 years. And I just I'd pull up the phone. It started to become, and I hate to say this because I don't want anybody to think you were a burden, but it started to become a burden on the content and the brand to try and, okay, I got to create a video or I got to write some content on the fantasyfootballshow.com, which I admit suffered greatly based on my hours of dedication to this text line. And so this year, the content is going to go up by massive amounts. The video courses are going to go up. Text line's gone. But it's going to be unbelievable. The content that we're producing on the Fantasy Football Show, when I say we, I mean me. It's just me. I'm a one-man band. The Fantasy Football Show content is going to be through the roof. So get ready for it, and then more videos than ever. And I'm so amped up about the free time. For me, I'm focused now. I'm focused. It's the main channel, this channel right here. It's the Dynasty channel, which I'm so amped up and hyped about. I've already done my one video this day on Puka Nakua, but I want to do another Dynasty video tonight. So get ready. Make sure you're subscribed to both the Dynasty channel. Links in the description of this video. It's also, if you go to the bottom of the channel, let's see here if I can show this real quick. If you go to, on a desktop, you can see there's a channels link. There's a join button for the YouTube exclusive membership, or you can click memberships. And then to the right side, there's a store button and a channel button, channels. And at the bottom, if you just scroll to the bottom of my YouTube page, you'll see all my channels right there. Subscribe to all 4, the Dynasty channel, the main channel, and then one's the Fantasy Football Intern, which I'm going to put on its own channel, sitcom. If anybody hasn't watched it, it's amazing. And then I'm going to have a kind of behind the scenes channel that just kind of talks about the behind the scenes stuff. So get ready for that. Appreciate you all. Ron Navy, anything else before I kick you off the phone line here and go eat food?
Yeah, I say, so what, Anthony? So what? He's not coming out till 2025. What's that have to do with me liking Dart? I think he's going to do great in the NFL when he gets there. So freaking what? Why are you sitting there trying to bust my balls every freaking live stream? Idiot. Later, Ron.
Well, anyway, that was between Anthony and Ron. Spilled milk at the Thanksgiving dinner table, but that's okay. Anyway, appreciate you all, and get ready for the rookie content. It's dropping very, very soon. Probably something tonight will be dropped in terms of rookie content, or at least tomorrow in a premiere of some kind. I don't know if I'm going to do every quarterback one by one or do a quarterback video. I might do like a prospect video on each quarterback, or I may do a ranking. I'm not sure yet. I think the sum total, all quarterbacks in one video, is nice, but it also is nice to have a video on each one. But I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I think probably I'll do a quarterback one, a running back one, a wide receiver one, and then a tight end video. Appreciate every single one of you. Absolutely appreciate every single one of you. And see you later tonight. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for everybody that dropped one today. We've got Call Your Boy Loud, Spacula, Trey, Anthony, and Max Swanson dropping super chats. Is Max here? Did Max see my reply? Hopefully Max is still here. Let me see, Max. Max said, Smitty, thank you for... Max, you still here? Hopefully Max heard my reply. Let me see if Max is still here. Thank you, Max Swanson, for the super chat. I don't feel good about leaving until I know Max saw it. And again, congrats on the winners of the Garrett Wilson and the Superflex draft. Superflex draft was won by Ibrahim. We had discussed, we never actually got a prize for it. We talked about maybe doing something along the lines of a jersey or something amazing. We never end up settling on a prize. So your prize, young man, is sitting in your Underdog account right now. You have $100 of Underdog credit to go have a day. So Ibrahim, appreciate you winning this league right here. And this little winner right here boosted. He won both, or he had the two highest scores. He did a lot of drafts, but still, that doesn't matter. That's fair game. He did a lot of drafts. He won the top two spots. There's only one prize, so he won the Garrett Wilson jersey. So I'll be sending that to him. But he also got a little special something, $500 injected into his Underdog account in credits for being a winner here. And just giving him a little something, since we had so many drafts involved in this. We had like 40 or 50 of them, and we wanted to make sure there was an amazing prize for this one. The Superflex, we had like 4 drafts, or 4 different, I think, leagues that we did 4 or 5 max. This one we did like 40 or 50. So to win this one was a lot harder, even though you could do as many as you wanted. But this man won. He got the Garrett Wilson signed autographed jersey, and he also gets the freaking $500 in Underdog credits into his account. So congrats, Boosted, for winning the Garrett Wilson jersey draft, and congrats, Boosted, for winning first place in the Superflex one. And you, again, young man, have $100 of Underdog credits sitting in your Underdog account. Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Underdog is where you can dominate the playoffs and draft fantasy teams. Do pick'ems. Code Smitty. Make sure you click the link. It should be pinned in the live chat, I believe. It is. Code Smitty does the same thing. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all later. Deuces. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday.